Hello students, I am VLN Swarupini, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Sciences, which is affiliated to Adikavi Nannaya University, Rajahmundry. Now, I would like to discuss about second BSc Biochemistry 4th semester paper, that is intermediary metabolism. From this paper, we have already discussed about different topics like glycolysis, Krebs cycle, HMP shunt, gluconeogenesis, and topics from glycogen metabolism like glycogenesis and glycogenolysis. And also we have seen about dark reactions in photosynthesis, and under this dark reactions we have seen C3 cycle. Just let's revise the C3 cycle and let's see another cycle which is involved in the dark reaction, that is C4 cycle. Okay, so here photosynthesis will occur in two phases. First one is light phase and second one is dark phase. So during the light phase it will utilize a light source for its photosynthetic reactions, whereas after utilizing this light it will enter dark phase which doesn't require any light source. Okay, so here the dark reaction is the second phase of photosynthesis. During this what happens? Reduction of carbon dioxide for which light is not required. So here carbon dioxide reduction is carried without requirement of light. That means it doesn't depend on light source for this reduction of carbon dioxide. And this was first time discovered by Blackman. So if you see about this particular C3 cycle, it is also called as Kelvin cycle. Okay, so this is also called as Kelvin cycle. Why? Because this is completely explained by Melvin Kelvin. So here first time identified by this Blackman. Blackman identified this C3 cycle, but the person who explained this particular C3 cycle completely person is Melvin Kelvin. So after his name only, this particular C3 cycle is also called as Kelvin cycle. Okay, and if you see the location of this particular C3 cycle or Kelvin cycle is chloroplast, stroma of the chloroplast. And if you see chloroplast, majorly it will contain envelope, stroma and stack of thylakoids. So these are the three major uh, parts present in the chloroplast, and here this particular Kelvin cycle is carried in the chloroplast. And if you see about this C3 cycle, this is carried in three phases. First one is carboxylation phase, second one is reduction phase, and third one is regeneration phase. So in carboxylation phase what happens is ribulose bisphosphate is finally uh, carboxylated to form phosphoglyceric acid. Phosphoglyceric acid will be formed. So complete carboxylation reaction is involved in the reactions which start with ribulose bisphosphate and ends with phosphoglyceric acid. And coming to reduction, this 3-phosphoglyceric acid will be converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric glyceric acid. 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is produced. So this is the reduction reaction. And the next one is generation phase. In this regeneration phase, this 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is converted into different compounds like fructose 1,6-bisphosphate and xylulose 5-phosphate, erythrose 4-phosphate. So these kind of different carbohydrates will be produced, like trioses, hexoses, pentoses, and these 7 carbon hexoses will also be produced during this particular C3 cycle. So trioses, if you take example, 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid or 3-phosphoglyceric acid. These are 3 carbon compounds. We call them as trioses. And tetroses means erythrose 4-phosphate is an example for tetrose, which is seen in this C3 cycle. And also we can see 5 carbon products like ribose 5-phosphate, ribulose 5-phosphate, and ribulose 1-bisphosphate. So now let's see this particular C3 cycle in different stages. First one is carboxylation. And the molecule of ribulose bisphosphate is carboxylated by carbon dioxide, and this is converted into this is converted into 3-PGA. Firstly, ribulose bisphosphate is carboxylated with carbon dioxide to form ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, and later this particular ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate is converted into 3-PGA, that is 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and here this reaction is carried by the enzyme ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. This is simply called as Rubisco, and during this reaction one carbon dioxide is utilized and also one water molecule is utilized. So here C3 cycle means here reduction of carbon dioxide by using this water molecule will be taken place. Okay. So here water molecule and carbon dioxide is utilized to form this 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and this 3-phosphoglyceric acid is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid by the enzyme phosphoglycerokinase. Okay. From that 3-phosphoglyceric acid is produced by the enzyme triose phosphatase dehydrogenase. So this is all comes under carboxylation phase, and the next one is reduction phase. Whatever the 3-phosphoglyceric acid is formed, it is reduced to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and here we'll have around 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules. 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules. Okay, and now all these glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules will be utilized to regenerate energy source, So in the reduction phase only, in the regeneration phase only, we'll see trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses and all. So let's see how this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be carrying this regeneration phase. So here we have 6 glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecules, and one glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecule will be converted to glucose, and this glucose will enter glycolysis cycle. So how this G3P can be converted into glucose by reversal reaction of the glycolysis. Okay, from this particular G3P is a non-carbohydrate product and it leads to formation of this particular glucose, and finally glucose enters glycolysis. So here one glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecule is utilized, and the next we have 5 G3P molecule. So here second G3P molecule will be converted into DHAP. Okay, and this DHAP will combine with third glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, and here the second G3P molecule is converted into DHAP, that is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, by the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. Triose phosphate isomerase. And later this DHAP will combine with third glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and here the enzyme aldolase will help the reaction to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. And now this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate by the enzyme phosphatase. Okay, so now we have fructose 6-phosphate, and here this fructose 6-phosphate will react with fourth glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecule to form erythrose 4-phosphate and xylulose 5-phosphate. Erythrose 4-phosphate and xylulose 5-phosphate. Here this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme transketolase. And next, this particular erythrose 4-phosphate and xylulose 5-phosphate, what they do is, here only erythrose 4-phosphate will again react with another dihydroxyacetone phosphate, and this dihydroxyacetone phosphate is produced from the fifth glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate molecule. So fifth glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into dihydroxyacetone phosphate by the enzyme trans-phosphate isomerase enzyme. So this DHAP, which is a 3-carbon compound, combines with the erythrose 4-phosphate to form pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate, and this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme transaldolase. Okay, and immediately the pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate is converted into pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate by the enzyme phosphatase. Why? Because the pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate is a it's not a stable compound. It is a most unstable compound. That's why this pseudoheptulose 1,7-bisphosphate is immediately converted into pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate by the enzyme phosphatase. Okay. So till now we have seen the utilization of 5 G3P molecules. Now the fifth or the sixth glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will combine with the xylulose 5-phosphate. Okay, combines with the xylulose 5-phosphate, and after this what happens is this xylulose 5-phosphate and G3P. Xylulose is a 5-carbon compound, G3P is a 3-carbon compound. So these two combine to form ribulose 5-phosphate. They form ribulose 5-phosphate. On the other hand, pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate is converted into ribose 5-phosphate. Okay, and this ribose 5-phosphate is again converted into ribulose 5-phosphate by the enzyme isomerase, and here this ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate. Ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate. So this is how the C3 cycle will be carried. So see this cycle. So ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate by the enzyme ribulose phosphate kinase, and this particular ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate, this is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid, 3-phosphoglyceric acid by the enzyme Rubisco. Rubisco means ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate carboxylate or oxygenase. Okay, and this 3-PGA is converted into 1,3-phosphoglyceric acid by the enzyme phosphoglycerokinase, and this 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is converted into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, and this 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde is reduced to 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and sixth G3P or the first G3P is converted into glucose, which is which will further enter the glycolysis pathway. And here the second or the third G3P is converted into DHAP, and this DHAP will act with another G3P molecule to produce fructose 1,6 bisphosphate by the enzyme aldolase, and this fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate by the enzyme fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase. Now this fructose 6-phosphate will combine with another G3P molecule to produce erythrose 4-phosphate and the xylulose 5-phosphate. And this erythrose 4-phosphate is again reacting with another DHAP, which is produced from G3P molecule by the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. And this DHAP and erythrose 4-phosphate combine to form pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate, which is a unstable compound, and this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme transaldolase. And next, this pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate is converted into pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate, and the enzyme present here is phosphatase. Enzyme is phosphatase. So the pseudoheptulose is converted into ribulose 5-phosphate, and again one G3P molecule is combined with this pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate to form xylulose 5-phosphate, and this xylulose 5-phosphate is converted into ribulose 5-phosphate by the enzyme epimerase, and pseudoheptulose 7-phosphate is converted into ribose 5-phosphate by the enzyme transketolase, and ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into ribose 5-phosphate is converted into ribulose 5-phosphate by the enzyme isomerase, and again this cycle will continue. So this is how C3 cycle is carried. Now let's see about C4 cycle. So in this dark phase we will see the major cycles, that is C3 and C4. So now let's see about this C4 cycle. So here this is another pathway for carbon fixation, and this was discovered by Hatch and Slack. Hatch and Slack. SLACK, Slack. So these are the two scientists who discovered this particular C4 pathway, and the C4 pathway is another pathway for the carbon dioxide fixation. So here The products of carbon fixation are 4 carbon products like oxaloacetate, malate, aspartic acid. So if you see here, so all the products oxaloacetate, malate and other compounds like and other compounds are mostly 4 carbon compounds. That's why this cycle is called as C4 cycle. Okay, and these plants exhibit this pathway are called as C4 plants. Okay, the plants which are undergoing C4 cycle, C4 cycle are called as C4 plants. Are called as C4 plants. And here some of such examples are mostly grasses like saccharum, sorghum, ziames. So these kind of plants are C4 plants. That means these kind of plants are involving in the C4 cycle. In these plants we can see C4 cycle, and here all the C4 plants in which this particular CO2 enters C4 cycle. CO2 enters C4 cycle. Okay, so and here this was first discovered by scientist Hatch and Slag, and that's why we can also call this as Hatch and Stack cycle. Hatch and Stack cycle. So here the primary acceptor of carbon dioxide is phosphoenol pyruvate. Phosphoenol pyruvate will receive the first carbon atom, and basically if you see the location of the cycle, it occurs in the mesophyll cells. So it occurs in the mesophyll cells of the plant, and also few steps enter bundle sheath. So if you see the structure, so this is the total cycle. Okay, and some part is in the mesophyll cells and some part is seen in the bundle sheath. Okay, so here C4 cycle is not only occurs in mesophyll cells, also in the bundle sheath. So here in the first step what happens is phosphoenol pyruvate is converted into oxaloacetate in the presence of or by the action of phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase enzyme. By acting of this phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase enzyme on phosphoenol pyruvate, what happens? This oxaloacetate is formed, and here one CO2 molecule is utilized by this particular reaction. So here if you see, phosphoenol pyruvate is a 3 carbon compound. It's COO minus CO P double bond CH2. So this is the structure of this phosphoenol pyruvate. And if you see this OAA, it is, okay, let me write like this. So here COO minus COP double bond CH2. This is phosphoenol pyruvate. This is converted into OAA, that is COO minus C double bond O CH2 COO minus. This is oxaloacetic acid, and the enzyme here working in this particular reaction is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. Here CO2 is utilized. So this is the first reaction that we see in this particular C4 cycle, and this occurs in mesophyll cell. Mesophyll cells. Okay. So that is the first reaction. So next, this oxaloacetate is converted into malate. Oxaloacetate is converted into malate, that is COO minus C double bond O CH2 COO minus. Okay, so this is OAA. This is converted into malate, that is COO minus CHOH CH2 COO minus. This is malate. The enzyme is malate dehydrogenase. Okay, and here NADPH is utilized to release NADP. Okay. So this is the second reaction that we see in mesophyll cells itself. Again, this reaction, that means conversion of oxaloacetate to malate, is also occurring in this particular mesophyll cell. Okay. So now this malate will be transferred to the neighboring bundle sheath cell via this plasmodesmata, and here whatever the malate that entered this bundle sheath, it is converted into pyruvate by the end. Pyruvate is formed in this particular bundle sheath. So malate, that is COO minus CHOH CH2 COO minus malate is converted into CH3 C double bond O COO minus. So this is pyruvate. So this is the pyruvate, and this particular pyruvate again enters the mesophyll cell. Pyruvate will enter the mesophyll cell, and this pyruvate is again converted into phosphoenol pyruvate by the enzyme pyruvate kinase. Okay. So this particular C4 plants, they undergo Krinz anatomy. Krinz anatomy is seen in C4 plants. So these are these show specialized leaf anatomy called Krinz anatomy. Here crans means ring. So here vascular bundles are supported by a layer of parenchymal cells known as bundle sheath. Okay, and these bundle sheath cells that separate them from the mesophyll cell. Okay, and these both cells are in close contact with one another. That means mesophyll cell mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cells. These two are in close contact with each other. Therefore, all substances among between leaf mesophyll cells and leaf vascular bundle must necessarily pass through bundle sheath cell. Okay, so this is a special type of anatomy, that is Krenz anatomy. Here between mesophyll cells and vascular bundles there is a bundle sheath additionally. So let's see the reactions now. So here firstly in mesophyll cell what happens? Phosphoenol pyruvate is converted into oxaloacetate. Okay, and this oxaloacetate is converted into malate by the enzyme malate dehydrogenase. Malate is converted into it is transferred to bundle sheath cell, and this malate is converted into pyruvate, and pyruvate is again enters mesophyll cells, and this pyruvate is converted into phosphoenol pyruvate by the enzyme pyruvate kinase. So this is all about C4 cycle. With this we have completed your first unit in which we discussed glycolysis, that is along with the Krebs cycle, and in glycolysis also we have discussed about fate of pyruvate, Krebs cycle, and gluconeogenesis, glycogenesis, glycogenolysis, HMP shunt, and this C3 C4. So please write the notes. We'll post these PDFs in your WhatsApp group. Please write the notes. If you have any doubts, please contact me. Thank you, students. కాబట్టి